Hey there, it's Crissy Keye Rollins here. And if you're new to this series, I've been sharing weekly insights around the creation process and guiding you step by step to understanding the mindset and the energy that lies behind taking consistent action toward creating whatever you desire in life. Becoming aware of these insights will help you to overcome challenges and limitations that have been holding you back so you can ditch the excuses and show up in life with confidence and clarity. If you want early access to these videos, you can join the community that I'm building over on Patreon. Find out more at the link below. And in today's video, I'm going to expand on the mental chatter conversation from last video and share with you a powerful step in clearing the energetic space needed to allow the change you desire to come to fruition. Plus, I'm going to walk you through the creative process of making your own homemade healing crystal elixir. So be sure to stick around for that after my quick chat. Let's get started. Okay, so the past couple of weeks, we have been talking about paying more attention to our self-talk and the mental chatter that happens in our mind. Well, today we are going to take that self-chatter awareness to a whole new level by accepting a challenge if you dare to try it on for size. The challenge that I'm extending to you is a challenge that was extended to me back probably over a decade ago that radically changed my life. Just the first day of trying this new concept on for size changed things in such a powerful way that I instantly knew it was something that I could not go back on and would have to keep practicing as I move forward. And it's something that I still to this day continue to practice day in and day out. And when I'm working with individuals to help to shift and make changes in their life, this is something that we address every single time. Are you ready? Okay. Now, if you think that you're on top of your self-talk game, I want you to consider taking on this challenge and trying this exercise. For the next hour, for the next day, for the next week, however long you can go, I want you to give up 3 things. Those 3 things are blaming, justifying, and complaining. Anytime that you find yourself in conversation, be it externally where you're speaking out loud or just internal with your own dialogue, begin to notice where you are picking up justifications and explaining yourself, explaining why you did something or didn't do something. And especially whenever you start to bring those justifications out vocally to other people, especially when they didn't ask you to explain. Start to notice that. Blaming. Now, I believe that part of the shakeup and healing that was being extended to us throughout 2020 and beyond is to give up blaming and shaming altogether in general. But for the purpose of this exercise, we'll focus solely on blaming and start to pay attention to when your internal or your external dialogue begins to put blame on circumstances, other people, whatever is happening around, instead of just accepting or acknowledging and moving forward. Start to pay attention to what you're blaming, who do you feel is at fault for what is happening in the world. This is a unique challenge for you to take on, and you're about to learn a lot about yourself if you do take it on. And that third thing that I mentioned is complaining. Start to pay attention to that internal and that external dialogue when it comes to complaints. What is it that you're whining about? What is it that is out of alignment with the preference of your ego, your personality, your default way of being? And start to pay attention to when you are complaining. Now, blaming, justifying, and complaining are 3 ways that we get stuck in our mental chatter. We get stuck in our patterns in life. And when we can start to recognize who we are blaming, what we are complaining about, and where it is that we are bringing in justifications, we begin to clear the pathway for a new way of thinking and being and moving through this world. We also begin a whole new dialogue of conversation. What happens to the story that runs through your mind when you give up the blaming, when you stop the complaining, when you release your need to justify? What are you left with then? If this is something you've tried before, I want to hear about it. So definitely drop in the comments below. And if you take this on and you find it a struggle, I want to hear about that too. If you find it to be super easy, share that in the comments below too. And definitely let me know how this affects you. How does it impact what is going through your mind? And does it help you to start to shift and take more consistent action? You tell me. I want to know. So one of the ways that you can support yourself into having more mental clarity, better overall cognitive function, and just to have a continual reminder of where to put your focus and attention as you are starting to create change in your life, is by incorporating healing crystals and gemstones into your day-to-day routines. One of the easy ways to do that is by making a crystal elixir, and I'm going to share that process with you today. Now, if you're new to crystals and gemstones, you can check out some of my other videos where I share some insights about some of their healing properties, and I'm going to share with you some healing properties of the most common crystals that I use when making crystal elixirs. There are some precautions to take, so make sure that you do more thorough research than just this video alone before you dive into consuming crystal elixirs, just to make sure that you are making choices that are going to actually support you and not end up causing any harm. There are some stones that are not ideal for making crystal elixirs, and as a basic general rule of thumb, those stones usually have less than a 6 on the Mohs hardness scale, so you want to make sure that it registers at a 6 or above. If the name of the crystal ends with an ITE, that is a pretty good sign that it is not one that you should be using in making an elixir. It can draw out some properties of the stone physically that will throw off some of what is happening in your body. And again, as a basic rule of thumb, anything that's in the quartz family is typically safe. Again, this is not a replacement for medical advice, so do your own research before trying these out for yourself. I myself keep on the regular a clear quartz mixture along with a rose quartz, a smoky quartz, and an obsidian. I have those elixirs on hand all the time. I keep them in my refrigerator, and I'm going to tell you about that process that I go through. So first of all, I like to work with a glass container. I have some glass mason jars. I also have these really awesome vibe bottles that have some sacred geometry that are on there and some positive uplifting words. This is a really great bottle to make crystal elixirs in, and I actually have a couple of them on my Etsy shop. If you're interested in purchasing a crystal elixir kit, you'll get a choice of a couple of vibe bottles. I don't have any more that are this size, but I have a couple smaller jars, and your choice of what crystal you want to go with it. And then all that you do is take that crystal, put it inside your glass container or jar, and then add water to it. I personally love to use moon water. No, I don't go to the moon and gather it. And no, you can't order that on Amazon, but you can make it yourself at home anytime that there is a full moon. Simply place a jar of water in an airtight container. I like to use glass. Some people have other preferences, but glass is what I always recommend and use for myself. Fill a jar of water, a clear jar of water, and sit it out under a full moon. Let it sit there overnight. It will absorb the properties and the energy of the moon and help to infuse that clearing, cleansing, refreshing moon energy into the water itself. That's the water that I like to use for my crystal elixirs. And then once I have the moon water made, you can keep it for as long as needed. You can keep it in a jar in your fridge, add it to whatever you want when you want to consume some of that wonderful moon energy. You can also take a crystal and drop it into the water. You can leave it there for 20 minutes. You can leave it there overnight. You can just leave it in the jar if you want to do that. I like the aesthetics of seeing this in a jar. So, and also it helps me to know which crystal elixir I have based on which stone is in the jar itself. Now, let's talk about some healing properties of crystals. Clear quartz is one of the most common crystals that you'll come across and that you're probably familiar with. They make these nice points, although they can also be in kind of more jaggedy pieces. And they usually have a crystal clear opaqueness to it. You can see right through them. And they are known as the master healer stone. They help to amplify energy. So anytime that you pair a quartz crystal with any other gemstone, it's going to enhance the properties of that gemstone and add even more benefits. This is kind of like, for those that are familiar with essential oils or herbs, this is kind of like the lavender or the frankincense of the crystal world. It's like your go-to whenever you're not sure what to use, because like I already mentioned, it's a master healer. It amplifies the energy. It helps to enhance clairvoyance. It helps to bring in clarity. It also eases discomforts of all kinds. It attracts success. It helps to energize and activate the full chakra system, and it amplifies the energy again of whatever other gemstones that it touches. So it helps to strengthen and align your higher self with life around it. And it also aids in concentration and unlocks memory. So all those properties have been very well documented in regards to the quartz crystal itself, the clear quartz crystal. And there's also some other properties that are out there, but those are the main ones that come to my mind whenever I'm thinking about clear quartz. So if you're looking to enhance any of that clarity, that focus, or if you're just looking for like that beginner stone to work with and make crystal elixirs with, it's a great one that you can use. Again, just drop that into your moon water or whatever kind of water you want to use for this. You can keep it in there at least 20 minutes. Some people say overnight. Go with your intuition. This is the thing about creating change in your life and trying something new. Also goes hand in hand with giving up the blaming, the justifying, and the complaining. You have to hit a point where you begin to trust yourself and allow yourself to step into new domains and try new things out. I feel like worst case scenario, I've had a positive experience consuming some water that reminded me to stay connected more to myself and to nature and to the universal cycles that are around me. Best case scenario, it helps to do the things that I just shared with you. Another great stone that you can use is a rose quartz. This one has a very pale pink color to it. Whenever they're found natural and not dye enhanced, they're going to have a very light pink color to them. They are known for their qualities that are around love. They have calming energy. They help to cultivate compassion and empathy. They also help to open the heart to giving and receiving all types of love. And in fact, all matters of the heart always go back to the rose quartz. So the rose quartz will help to soothe, it will help to open and balance the energy that's found around the heart chakra, all things emotional and relationship centered, helps to up that compassion. It also helps to restore your confidence. It helps to raise your self-esteem. It helps in balancing emotions and dissolving fears, worries, grief, and resentments. The rose quartz is also known for promoting self-love and is also known to attract love your way. So it is one that you can use for soothing the heart, for enhancing the love that's in your life and the relationships that are in your life as well. Another great healer is the amethyst quartz crystal. So the amethyst is very similar to the rose quartz and the clear quartz, except for it has this lovely purple color. Again, this one's a lighter shade, but they can go super dark as well to a really deep purple color. And these are really great for general healing in general. If you're just looking for overall healing support, amethyst is a really great stone to work with. It is known for having stabilizing properties. It's known to promote peace, calm, balance, courage, and inner strength. It's also a protective stone. It helps in decision making. It helps you to move forward in life. And it wards off inner drunkenness. So getting lost in that spinning habitual way of thinking, it helps you to sober your mind up. And therefore it's known as the sobriety stone. And being a really powerful healer, it probably does aid in helping with addictions of any kind. And it will help to promote relaxation, help to relax the mind, and promote patience and acceptance. This one in particular is really great for balancing and restoring third eye, sixth chakra energy. So if you're looking to have more connection to what lies behind the physical seen world and into that spiritual connection, it's a really great stone to work with. Another quartz crystal that I love a lot is citrine. Much like the rose quartz that has the pink, the amethyst has the purple, citrine has this gorgeous yellow golden color. I'm going to hold it right here with that white background so you can see that pop out. It's got this great yellowy orange golden color to it. It also helps to boost confidence and self-certainty. It helps in envisioning and manifestation. So if you're working towards any kind of goal, it's a really great one to have around. It strengthens your will. It promotes clarity, creativity, and imagination. It symbolizes warmth. It brings optimism. It purges toxins. It's also a protective stone. It brings energy and joy and promotes happiness and abundance. So therefore, it's a really great income and money attractor as well. And it helps to balance the solar plexus or the third chakra. And this chakra is all about our self-esteem, our self-worth, our self-value. So if you're working on boosting any of those qualities, citrine crystal elixir is a really great companion to have. Now, these elixirs, you can just sip on them them. You can add them to your tea or your coffee. You can add them to other things. You can even just have their presence around you, and those properties will emanate out. Now, some could say the properties come from the stones themselves. I'm sure there's lots of scientific research to back that up, but I know one thing for sure. When I visually lock eyes with the stones that I have around me, I remind myself to connect to my self-esteem and my self-worth. I remind myself to be protected and grounded and calm in situations. So regardless if it comes from the stone or if it just conjures it up from within, I find them to be a win-win situation to have around and to work with. Now, there's two more stones that I want to talk about today while we're having this conversation. One of them is another one that's in the quartz family, and it is smoky quartz. As you can see, it usually has this gray or brownish tone that runs throughout it. This is a really big chunk of one. The one that I have in my crystal elixir is smaller and smoother. It's more like a river stone and kind of heart-shaped. That's why I made the elixir with it, because I thought, how lovely. And smoky quartz, it helps to neutralize negative vibrations. It is detoxifying on all levels, so physically, emotionally, energetically, and it helps to promote elimination and protects against radiation and electromagnetic smog. So it's a great one to have around in very energetically dense areas where you're having a lot of unseen currencies that are running around you. It helps to disperse fear, and it helps to lift depression and negativity. It's one of those stones that its smoky color and experience of it actually helps to clear that out of yourself. So it brings emotional calmness. It is good for relieving stress and anxiety, and it helps you to overcome negative emotions such as stress, fear, jealousy, anger, again, depression. And overall, it's mood lifting. It can also help to aid you in achieving goals, and it helps to support the root chakra, or the first chakra, and it's known for being grounding, detoxifying, and relieving. The last stone that I wanted to mention is obsidian. And obsidian has this dark glassy look to it, and the reason is because it is glass. It's volcanic glass. The way that the lava cooled makes this shiny stone crystal that is very known for having grounding properties. It also helps to support your root or your base, your first chakra, and it helps you to protect you from negative energy. It's known to offer relief for arthritis and cramps. It helps to dissolve emotional blocks, and it's known as a stone without limitations. So if you're looking to break out of what you feel like has been limiting you, this is the stone for you to go to. And it also helps to vitalize the soul's purpose. So if you're looking to be invigorated and back connected and on that path for your soul's purpose, this is a great stone to go to and a great elixir to work with. It's also great for the body, mind, soul balancing, and also helps with inner reflection. It aids in intuition and spiritual growth, and it helps with isolation and loneliness. It is also the stone of purity, and it aids in clarity and support during times of adversity and change. And I know, societally speaking, we have all been going through a lot of those things that I just mentioned, which is why I wanted to talk about it today and encourage you to give it a go as one of the elixirs that you can make for yourself. Now, if you have additional insights to share around giving up, blaming, justifying, and complaining, or around making crystal elixirs, be sure to share your thoughts in the comments below. If you know some qualities about these stones that I failed to mention, there's so much that you can say about each of these stones, then drop those in the comments below so that we can all learn from you as well. And if you make a crystal elixir, I want to know about that too. Thank you so much for watching and for sharing this video with others. Be sure to hit subscribe wherever you are viewing this and turn on notifications so that you know every time a new video drops. And if you haven't done so already, I invite you to check out the community that I'm building over on Patreon. You can check that out at the link below. And in this community, I am guiding you throughout the year to discover and live more fully into your purpose. I'm going to show you how to create a life that's aligned with your purpose and how to do it all in a way that is a service to others. So if you're interested in plugging into that conversation and support, part of which you'll get early access to videos just like this one, then hop over to bit.ly holistic support for more details. And I will see you again next week with another step to the creation process, along with another tutorial to guide you through the creative process. All right. Bye.